Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Welcome to Max Wellness. I am Erin Maxwell, and tonight we are going to do yin slash restorative yoga. So, depending on where you are at, um, restorative is when we have more of our bolsters, blankets, and blocks and things like that. And yin is more just using gravity. So just you go ahead and decide. I'm going to show options for both so you can kind of see probably more on the restorative side. So we are into March. Yahoo! 18 days until the first day of spring. So this is a great time to let go of what no longer serves us and get ready for springtime, spring cleaning. Um, what else is happening? We are starting the niyamas, potato, for the month of March. It is the second limb of yoga for the 8 limbs of yoga. So as we are going into the different shapes and poses tonight, your animal shapes, think of the niyamas. So then there's five, kind of like the yamas. There's five principles. Same thing with the niyamas, and so they are more for. So the yamas were how we conduct ourselves out in the daily world with other people and how we treat them, and the niyamas is more how we treat ourselves. So with saucha, for cleanliness, keeping things clean, keeping our mat clean, our space, our body, our mind, what we put into our bodies, and then we'll touch a little bit more on each one of them as we go along tonight in our shapes and poses. But the next one would be santosha, which is contentment. So really finding the ease and the happiness in especially tonight's practice of doing nothing. So there's going to be a lot of nothingness in this um, time that we're together, and just being able to feel the benefits of being passive and just knowing you can let go in this time, in this space, and just let it all just wash away, because we don't have to do anything now. So except for just be in this moment. The next one will be our tapas, and no, it is not little Mexican dishes before dinner. They are um, there's Rajasic, there's Sattvic, and there's Tamasic. So it'd be like your Raja. So it's like your fire, and you just really get all and maybe burn a little bit too much, and then you'd be Tamasic. And I think of Tamasic like a rotten tomato. So it has low energy, so like the foods that you eat is really important. So if you're eating really tamasic food that's been sitting in the fridge for a while, it's when you eat it, you're not going to get a lot of energy out of it. So you want to be in that sattvic state, that middle ground, finding the balance between the two. So again, that's what we're doing in this yin restorative, since we are usually on the go. So finding our tapas. Svadhyaya, it is self-study. So we will observe and look at ourselves and kind of reflect on what we've been doing for these past few months, maybe into the winter season, and now how we can learn from that and grow and shed and find more space in a greater space in our self-study. And the last one, this one is a tongue twister for me, so be patient. Ispar pranayana. And it's no wonder why not only is it difficult to say, it's also one that I am challenged with the most, is surrendering. So whether it's surrendering to the universe, to maybe your God, to what's happening in that present moment, how you are reacting to others. So really finding that sense of peace and ease, and know that whether it's a rock or the universe or the big G God, just once again letting go. So let it flow. Okay. Woo-wee, that was a lot. So let's move on into our first shapes. If go ahead if you're not already in a seated position. I'm actually going to switch my legs up because why not? We're trying something new. We're just going to be here for a few moments. This one is not thick enough, so especially because this feels really weird and different. Finding a small blanket or something just to sit on underneath your sits bones on your ischial tuberosities that you always hear me talk about. So this way, knees can drop. So it's like right on the edge. And we'll have to go through a blanket folding class at some point because it's really important how we even sit and keep our blankets. That would be part of our saucha, so keeping it clean. So go ahead and get in that seated position if you're not there already, pulling the flesh out from underneath your sits bones, and you can find your mudras. You can leave your hands flat, you can have them up. Just find what is comfortable for you. So I don't forget where these are, right here. And gently closing your eyes, letting your breath go, dropping your shoulders, stacking each vertebrae on top of the other, lengthening out your spine. If you need to, you can find some movement in your spine, whether it's little circles around or just finding the stillness and stacking the bones. So really just opening up your body and your mind for this practice. Taking a nice big inhale through your nose and then expand all the way up through your rib cage, the front, the sides, the back, all the way up to your collarbones. Pausing at the top. And when you're ready, exhaling, letting your chest fall. Let the air come out your mouth, HA. Belly button dropping to the front of your spine. And pause at the bottom. And go ahead and inhale into your next round. And you may be on a different breath cycle than I am right now. I'm just guiding you through, so go at your own pace. Just really finding the expansion each time you inhale, all the way up to the collarbone, pausing, and exhale, HA. Squeezing everything out, knitting your ribs together, belly button dropping to the front of your spine, and pausing at the bottom. This time we're going to do things a little different. We're going to go ahead and inhale through your nose. And pausing at the top. Sealing your lips, exhaling out your nose. Releasing, let it make the same oceanic sound. Pausing at the bottom. And inhaling. Let it be omnidirectional. Letting the rib cage be big and full. Pausing at the top. Exhaling out your nose. Pausing at the bottom. And taking a few breaths at your own pace and your own rounds. And just starting to notice and observing where you might feel any sticky points, where you might need to send a little extra space of love, and releasing and creating that space, really letting go. Ready, gently start to flutter your eyes open. And we'll just do a few neck rolls. So just pouring your right ear towards your right shoulder. keeping your shoulders in alignment. And if you want, you can always take your right hand and place it on the top of your head for a little extra stretch, taking your left hand out to the side, straight from your body. And breathe. Feels so good. And just noticing and being sure to be kind and gentle in this shape, in this pose. So again, with yin restorative, we are really finding that sweet surrender, sweet soft edge. So let it be interesting, not pulling, tearing, shearing, ouchy, nothing, just gooiness, lengthening, just finding a little bit of the opening in the tendons and ligaments, letting time and gravity do the work. And breathe. Gently release your hand from your head, walking your left hand in, pushing your head up with your right hand, stacking it on top. Releasing your right arm down to the mat. And exhale, pouring your left ear towards your left shoulder. Letting your spine stay in the same place. As a former and always beach lover girl, I imagine sand pouring from the top of my head over my shoulder, back into the beach. I love making sand burritos while I'm there rolling around, getting sand everywhere. Again, you can take your left hand and gently draw your head closer to your left shoulder and walking your right arm out. Opening up the neck on the right side, upper traps, unilaterally lengthening out your SCM, your sternocleidomastoid. Say that one 5 times fast. Oh shoots. These ones inhale. These ones help you inhale. I'm drawing a blank on these muscles right here. Nope, it's gone. Continue to breathe. Couple more breaths. And when you're ready, you can gently release, walking your right hand in, gently pushing your head to stack on top, releasing your left hand down to the mat. Go ahead and go. Do a few shoulder circles, bringing them up towards your ears and letting them really drop back, finding all the movement in your scapula. So a lot of times while we are practicing our yoga postures, I'm always talking about locking your shoulder blades down and finding your serratus anterior and your subscapularis to hold it onto your rib cage. So this time we're really going to find the opening. You can bring your arms out nice and long, keeping your torso in place. Letting your shoulder blades glide back and forth. That's retraction. Bringing them back. Finding your shoulder rolls. Just do what feels good in your body. And always, I like to shake it all out. Think of like when my dog shakes. It's like she just shakes it all out. It's like, yeah, I'm done with that energy. Just wake up from a nap and get rid of it. So here we are. Okay, enough of that. Let's get into our ooey gooeyness of our um, practice. So let's see, what do we want to do first? Find a block or a pillow or like a stiff pillow or bolster of some sort. Let's see, I have my block here. Do you have a block? Make sure everybody has blocks. And I'm gonna show a couple of different ways. So do what feels right in your body. Again, so really, Yeni style is working on ligaments and joints and fascia, the deeper tissues, the thicker bands. And restorative is really feeling that comfort and suspension and easiness and fluidity. So do what feels good and feels right. I'm gonna, have a couple blocks just for good measure. So we're just gonna go ahead and come into like a regular bridge, feet flat on the floor, feet hip width distance apart. You could always put a block in between your knees, and if you have a strap, you can strap your knees together. So that way you don't have to do any work. We have one of these. So there's a lot of moving props around in restorative and yin. So a lot of patience. Because normally in our vinyasa classes, we're moving and grooving and we're breathing and holding these poses, but then we're on to the fire. We're really rajasic using our tapas, right? So go ahead and elbow your way down onto the mat. Oh, supported bridge. Bring your block in lunchbox and put it right underneath your sacrum. And then elbow down. Oh, and this really lengthens out your spine and low back. It gives a anterior tilt. Is that right? Of your pelvis? No, posterior. It's backwards. It's posterior tilt because it brings it this way, lengthening out your low back. You can, if you're really finding restorative, you can put a eye pillow over your eyes. You can put blocks or blankets underneath your arms. Find the suspension. You can always bring a blanket and pull it over because we are going to be here for a while. So take your time now to really get into the ooey gooeyness of the shape of this pose. I'm just going to let you be in this space. Finding the ease and the contentment, santosha. Reminding yourself of the niyamas, self-study, cleanliness, tapas, surrendering. Just being fully present. You can have your hands long onto the side, one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Leave your head long. If you need to, you can always have something supporting underneath your neck. You can turn your head to one side and know that we will have enough time to turn your head to the other side to keep it all balanced. Reconnecting with yourself. Connecting with your breath. Maybe noticing the air that flows in and out of your nostrils, around your upper lip. We are well over halfway into this pose, so if there's any adjustments you'd like to make, you feel free to do that now. If you'd like to go into a little more of a hip flexor lengthening, you can take your block underneath your sacrum to crayon box for a little bit higher of a bridge pose. And you can remove your block and strap if you have one, and then lengthen out. Maybe just one leg, or you can always lengthen out both legs. I think I will just do one leg. Not pushing myself, listening to my body as you should listen to yours. This is not a competition. Every day we are in a different space in our body. So really listening and fine tuning what your body needs on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. And if you laid out one leg long, you can inhale your leg back up and exhaling, lengthening it out the opposite leg. Or if you wanted to stay in your original position, that is beautiful too. I like to give options. We'll take a few more breaths. And finding a way to come out of this shape, whether you drop your knees over to one side, removing the block out from underneath, and gently pushing yourself up, letting your head come up last. You can always keep your eyes closed or gently fluttering them open. Coming into a seated position, to recalibrate and just notice and see where we're at from the first time before this shape. Good. Now we will come into a side lying position. So we will find our block and put it on its edge, like a cereal box, and then find your bolster, or you could use a couch cushion or something to make a tower. I'm never very good at making these towers. Oh, there we go. And we'll come up over to the side, bringing your left hip to the edge of your tower here. You can always put a blanket if you need a little bit of an extra boost onto your tower here. And then having your knees bent, so it's just like kind of how we do on the floor on our back when with a twist when at the end of our classes, of our vinyasa classes, kind of the same thing, but this time we're going to do it on the floor and face down, prone. So prone is face down. So having your left hip edge thigh to the edge of your bolster, and then we'll just turn your torso and then gently walk down, and then have your head turn to the right. And just go ahead and adjust and stay safe in your tower. You can gently close your eyes. If your tower is too tall, you can always put it on the edge and come down like a crayon box. Oh yeah, I'm gonna crayon box. And then of course you can always come all the way down onto a lunchbox. And last option is to come all the way onto the mat for a prone seated twist. Just do what feels right for you. Get into the right position, dropping in. Letting your low back relax. Letting time and gravity do the work. Opening up the aponeurosis in your low back that connects the your sacrum and pelvic bowl up into your back. So you know, because there's really nothing there. So on the front side, it's just your abdomen and all your organs, and then on the back side, it's this aponeurosis that holds it all together onto the rib cage. So that's more of an aponeurosis is a thick fascial sheath, kind of like our IT band on the outer edge of your thighs. This one's a lot thicker and denser. Finding your breath. Tapping into your niyamas. Surrendering into the earth, into your body, into this space suit. Finding the peace and ease in the surrendering, in the nothingness. It's like turning off the jets on a jet engine. Just turn the jets down, cool everything down, let everything settle. So when you're ready, you can fire back up and get done what needs to be done. It's finding the balance. Finding the balance in our tapas. Another option is putting a pillow between your knees or even under your top arm. You could take your top arm and drape it over your head. We're wringing out our organs, cleaning out our intestines, cleaning out the liver, a lot of fire in our liver. This is a major filtration system in our bodies. Cleaning house. Finding your breath. Gently begin to come out of this shape and move to the other side. You can keep your eyes closed. If you have your arm over your head, bring it down to your side. If you have a pillow in between your knees, if you can, it's convenient, you can keep the pillow between your knees and roll over to the other side. Otherwise, pushing yourself up in your seated position and just doing the opposite. Coming to the other side, you can come up and over, just whatever's easiest for you. There's no fancy way to turn from one side to the other. Just bringing your right hip and thigh up towards your bolster, however you have your bolster, whether you have one on a block or not, and bringing your pillow, if you want it, to the other side. So you can do exactly what you did on the other side, or just see where your body's at on this side, because it's different. No two sides are always the same. when I massage people, it's the same way. It's really quite amazing how different the two sides feel. So listen to your body. This is your time, the self study, right? So um, getting into the shape however you need to, and go ahead and settle in. Let me check a couple things. And continue to surrender. Being kind to yourself and the way you speak to yourself, your body mind. I'm just going to go ahead in the same position so I'm facing you. Your body mind can hear you and can feel you and the tissues and fascia inside your body. It's a vibration, right? So we are just nothing but vibrational cells, really. So you think of like mitochondria in our cells, and that's like, I always think of it's the green for biology, and that's the energy, right? So we literally everything in space, no matter where you go, what you're doing, it's all energy. And think about all of the, everyone that's always talking about it's the energy you put out and what you attract and what you want. It's the same thing, how you speak to yourself. Your body knows and remembers. So this is why we practice yoga and the 8 limbs. This is why I practice it, why I love it so much, because it's such great reminders of how to live, how to treat yourself, so you and how to treat others. um, we get this one life that we remember until, maybe, who knows, the next one, I don't know, maybe we just go back into stardust. But there's a reason why we're here on this time, on this planet, right here, right now. So why not make the best of it and be that positive ripple effect that I always like to talk about. I mean, that's my personal goal every day, is to make somebody laugh, whether it's at me or something that's happened in the world or making fun of them. Like, let's just not take ourselves so seriously. This is our time to have a good time. So I will digress and let you get into your shape and pose and into your body and out of your mind. Maybe I've gone out of my mind. I just love this practice and love sharing it with you. And who knows? Continue to give yourself permission to let go. Continue to focus on your breath. Focus on our breath. So when our mind begins to wander, we have something to come back to anchor us down. into this present moment. Any adjustments that you need to. It's time and gravity does the work. So soften your mind, soften your face, softening your body, soften your muscles. Softening your breath. Feeling the suspension of your body as the earth and the pillows and cushions support you. Filling yourself up with self-love. Letting yourself be full of love. Taking a few more breaths. Shape. And gently pushing yourself up, letting your head come up last, then your head being heavy, keeping your eyes closed if you like, or you can flutter them open. And we will come into our final shape, our final pose, final Shavasana. So grab your blanket. We're going to be here for quite a while. So I will probably end our practice and we'll be in Shavasana for a while, but when I end our practice, don't feel like you have to get up. If you want to stay in your Shavasana, then stay there. But let's get the most cozy, ooey gooey possible as we can. I'm going to take my bolster and put that underneath my knees and calves. So you can always put a block under your feet. You can, if you have a higher bolster or where you place your bolster so your feet are on the ground, you can put a block here. And if you don't want your legs to fall out, you can use your handy dandy strap and strap it up. I normally have two, but I think one is out in the yard. Izzy McGee and I were playing with it. Multi-purpose, multi-use. I'm that kind of yogi. So you could put a strap around. I'm giving the secrets out. So you could put a strap here around your ankles, and then you could, if you have a second one, you can put your strap around your thighs. So you'd have one, on the feet. You could have a block on, have a block between your feet, and then I only have two blocks down here. Block, block. So 3 blocks, and then a strap around to hold all of that together. And then here, and then you can, I'm gonna make a little neck roll. So I'm gonna actually open this up so it's this wide, and then I'm gonna roll it. This one's a little bit thinner. So then you can put it directly underneath your neck and grab my blankie. And settle into your final Shavasana. So I'm gonna lay down and talk a little bit more about my little neck roll underneath here. So this one's a little bit thin, but if I had a longer one, if this one was really long, pretend it's long like my blanket here, you can roll it up and then leave a tail out. So we'll pretend that this is nice and thick. And so my neck is supported, and then you can take the tail and you can wrap it around your head to really feel the support. And then if you want or can, you can put blocks or blankets or pillows, and again, underneath your arms and your hands. You can have one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. You can have them to your sides. This is your final Shavasana. This is your time in space. So we are going to be here for a while. Let's look to see. Yes. So settle in all the way. Take a moment to thank yourself for showing up, being here, being fully present, being fully open and aware, discovering and playing with your niyamas, tomatoes. Again, finding your saucha, the cleanliness, santosha, contentment, tapas, the inner fire, svadhyaya, self-study, ishvar prandihana, surrendering, full surrendering. Completely softening in, giving yourself full permission. Your eyebrows relax, letting your scalp relax, easing your mind, letting the jaw release, letting your lips open slightly, relaxing your throat, relaxing your chest, coming through our chakras, our third eye, our fifth chakra and our throat, our heart and our chest, relaxing your belly, your third chakra, relaxing your pelvis, your second chakra, and just releasing everything all the way out, your first chakra. Letting go of your ego, letting go of your shoulds or should'ves or wouldas or couldas, because they no longer serve you. Just find peace and ease in this place, in your body, in your mind, in this space. And know that you're doing this right. Continue to be kind to yourself. We're our own worst critics, so let's stop that. See through the eyes of others. We are reflections of those around us. So finding that peace and grace and ease in the love that supports you and being open enough to accept it and feel it and breathe it and send it back. Finding the peace and love in each vibrational cell in your body. Your body melt and suspend in this space, in this place. Release it and let it go. And as our time together comes to a close, feel free to stay in this Shavasana for as long as possible, as long as you would like, as long as your body and your mind needs. There is absolutely no rush. As always, it has been an honor and a pleasure to guide you through your moving meditation, through your yin yoga, restorative practice. I look forward to seeing you again soon, and I hope you have a beautiful evening. Thank you so much. Namaste.